Hi, my name is David Graziano. I'm actually the head of retail network here at GoodRx. I think independent pharmacies are operating in an environment that's wildly complex, and the demand for high-cost therapies like GLP-1s is growing rapidly. The acquisition costs and reimbursement rates vary significantly by both payer and plan. When you have that pricing variability, benefit design changes all over the place, and reimbursement structures that create limited visibility for the pharmacy to know what they're actually being able to deliver from a margins standpoint, you really do want that predictability. And so GoodRx actually stood up Community Link as a way to solve for this issue by actually delivering upon and delivering for independent pharmacies and ultimately patients upwards of 125 brand drug programs that for the first time actually deliver a positive reimbursement on drugs like Ozempic, Wegovy, Foundayo, and Zepbound, QuickPen. I mean, this is really a way that the pharmacy can clearly gain access to what they're going to get at the end. There's no games, there's no confusion as to what they're going to get from a reimbursement. The manufacturer is actually going to pay or buy down the patient price, and then the pharmacy is going to we actually flow the funds back from the manufacturer directly to the pharmacy through our community link contract. So it's a great way for solving for one of the primary challenges that can frustrate an independent pharmacy owner. In that instance, a pharmacy is actually going to make a decision. Are they even going to stock a medication, on their shelves? And so the opportunity, not really understanding if they are what they're going to get reimbursed at the end, makes it a real challenge. And so, having that visibility, having the understanding of the margin that they can capture from that prescription allows them the predictability to say, yes, I can carry that script and I can ultimately dispense it because I know that I'm going to be paid effectively on the back end. Opening up GLP-1s to an oral class or having that ability has really started to see we're seeing significant growth in the overall prescription volume that is running through retail settings. And so as that demand grows, that existing reimbursement model or the existing reimbursement models continue to test that sort of overall spend. If an independent pharmacy is not able to fill that high cost drug, they're ultimately having to farm off or ship off that patient to another pharmacy, potentially losing the entire basket of drugs that go alongside it. So again, when we stood up the Community Link program for independent pharmacy, it allows them to keep those scripts on hand and ultimately dispense them to patients because again, they're getting predictable revenue on the back end and the patient's getting an accessible price to ultimately give them access to pick up and stay on that medication. Independent pharmacies don't have to lose money filling GLP-1s. As long as they can sign up for or engage with a program that gets them access to predictable reimbursement, it should give them the ability to engage and ultimately deliver that deliver or dispense that medication to patients. The programs like Community Link actually benefit the patient too. They know what they're paying up front. It's the cost is sort of visible to them, and it's what they would actually be able to achieve across the retail chain, whether it's especially at community pharmacy. There's really no last minute surprises. It's really alignment between affordability and sustainability, right? Affordability for a patient, sustainability for a pharmacy. That's a great question because rising deductibles, formularies that are getting narrower, sort of the step therapy or prior authorizations are in many cases putting barriers between the patient ultimately picking up that prescription. And it's only increasing the amount of cash pay customers that are or cash pay patients that are coming in and picking up what they expected insurance to cover in the past. I would suggest independent pharmacies are well positioned to take advantage of the cash pay market. It gives them a great opportunity to say, as long as it is economically viable for them, it gives them the ability to dispense those medications. And when you sign up with an organization like GoodRx and sign up for the Community Link, you actually have a foundation put underneath your dispensing mechanism. It's transparent on all generics, so you know the price the patient's gonna receive, and ultimately the reimbursement you'll get. And then you get access to these sort of manufacturer funded programs that actually, again, deliver outsized value both to patient and ultimately to pharmacy. I think our goal here is to make sure that an independent pharmacy can survive in this space as things are changing so rapidly. We want to make sure that we support the bottom line for those independent pharmacies to keep those front doors open, as they are a primary mechanism for picking up prescriptions in many of the communities across our country. DTC and telehealth models are expanding rapidly, and it's really changing the way that consumers are seeing the speed, convenience, and upfront sort of pricing clarity that they're in search of. Independent pharmacies can really remain competitive by strengthening that patient experience that they already do so well. Independent pharmacies are well known for the care and concern that they pay towards their patients. And so now when we can layer on pricing transparency, when you can layer on consistency across all channels, it really does sort of buttress the experience that patients are receiving at community pharmacy already. Having the ability to have access to that predictable cash pay option really becomes increasingly more important, and you're creating or delivering transparency right at the counter. And it's not a question of can I offer that price? It's I know that I can offer it and I can get it to a patient really efficiently. I would just say that GLP-1s are a clear example of a broader structural change in the system. And as it relates to pharmacy reimbursement, high cost therapies, high acquisition costs, unpredictable reimbursement. I mean, these types of challenges across everything from GLP-1s to autoimmune disease therapies, asthma, mental health treatments. Independent pharmacies are structurally imperative access points that must be available for patients to be able to get to gain access to these, in many cases, life-saving drugs. And so as we can provide value for those community pharmacies to ultimately deliver that value to patients, dispense those medications, and keep patients adherent, it's really an important goal for us. I mean, our aim is really always around access and affordability, whether it's to products and ultimately services that make independent pharmacies indispensable inside of US healthcare.